So we have a little bit of a news update regarding a certain left winger at Arsenal. Let's get into it. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you may be in the world. I think it's time that we have a little talk about a certain left winger called Gabriel Martinelli. And it came out today, about 3 hours ago, broken by Christian Falk. You man might know him as the CF Bayern account. He's very reliable when it comes to transfers and news regarding not only Bayern, but just the German league in general, the Bundesliga. And he's come out and he's basically, in his own right, dropped a little bomb that I feel is going to divide a lot of the Arsenal fan base, personally. Now, this is what he had to say. Tick. Our story. Bayern are discussing a transfer of Gabriel Martinelli, 24, of Arsenal, London. Yeah? Now, first I'll give you my point of view. And then I'll go on to talk a bit about why I feel like there's going to be a little bit of a divide. Now, I think it was the 22-23 season when he had that kind of breakout season. He scored bare goals, got a few assists. I think he got over 20 GA, and everybody was looking at Martinelli like, I was definitely looking at Martinelli like, ooh, we got ourselves a Brazilian masterpiece right here. Do you know what I mean? I thought we had the next best thing coming out of Brazil. I'll be honest. Like, I was someone who, I think Martinelli and Saka, at that point, they were neck and neck. I would even argue that I thought Martinelli had the higher ceiling. How about that? That's me being completely honest. I thought Martinelli had the higher ceiling. Yeah? He had the pace. He had the electricity. He had the drive. Had the ambition. Had the relentlessness. Scored in big games. Yeah? Was a massive problem on transition for teams. That youthful kind of fearlessness. You know? He was like, he felt free. He felt free. I thought we had a real solid player on our hands. And I thought he was going to develop into someone who definitely regarded at the very least one of the best left wingers in the Premier League, at the very least. But it just didn't work out that way. Again, in my opinion. Yeah? Now, don't get me wrong. The one element I still think he does have to his game is scoring in big games. He still scores in big games. He is a big game player. But he's so inconsistent. There's so many games that I'll be watching him and I'll just be super underwhelmed. There's so many games I'll be watching and I'll just be so disappointed. Like, now when I watch him, it's like he does the same thing over and over and over again. You know that one when he runs down the wing with his head down? I really despise that. I hate it when wingers dribble with their head down, yeah? And then he'll get to like, I don't know how to explain it, like just to the, I guess, from his running point of view, the left-hand side of the penalty box. And then he'll stand there and he'll do the and then he'll pass it back. Do you know what I mean? Then he'll get ball out. And he'll try to beat, he'll try to beat his man in the most, I would say, difficult, scripted, easy to read way. And I don't know why. I honestly don't know why, because I've seen Martinelli rinse man differently. I've seen him rinse guys. He's a massive, he used to be a massive threat running at people. And I would say my initial frustration started with Martinelli last season. I'll be so real, last season. And he has had a lot of injuries. And I do feel like the injuries have taken a bit of pace out of his game and made him a little easier to read. He's less unpredictable now. He's such a predictable winger at the moment. And I maybe to give him a bly, maybe to give him the benefit of the doubt, maybe it's instructional. Maybe it's the instructions that are making him super predictable. Maybe it's the fact he's playing on the left wing. Even though, just really quickly, I would sell him. But the only reason I would sell him is because I don't think that, I don't think Arteta's going to play him centrally, which is where I think he would thrive, in the 9, as a 9 option. Because running off the shoulder, when he's given less things to think about, less instructions, he just has to get into positions where he can score. I feel like he can still be a massive threat. And then B, I think Arsenal are in a situation now where he's actually one of the few people that can actually generate money. Do you know, like, we've just been so bad at like building the squad that it's really difficult for us to get money back or generate funds from players. Like, I look at teams like Chelsea and Man City and even to a degree Liverpool and even Man United, and they always have assets that they can sell for a good portion of money that allows them to be, I guess, more active, in the market. We can't do that. And it's a shame, because if there was a way that he could be integrated as a striker opposed to a left winger, I'd actually want to keep him. But it's because I know that he's not going to be integrated as a striker. Like, even if you look at, I can't remember the game. I can't remember what game it was. I can't remember the specific team, but it was the Premier League game after we got knocked out to PSG in the Champions League. Was it Southampton? Was it the last game of the season? Was it Southampton? It might have been Southampton. He played as a striker, and it was a joy to watch. See, I'm not a full-blown hater. I can admit when he does look good. Pause. He was looking nice, but I know that he's not going to be integrated there, especially with the fact that I don't think we're going to sell Jesus, a striker option. I think that Marino's done a lot this season in the 9, so I do think that at times he will be a 9 option. And I do think that I do feel like Arteta would rather play Mikel Merino in the 9 than Martinelli. We're going to sign a new striker. Potentially 2. So, again, he's just moving further down the pecking order. I feel like the new striker, Gabriel Jesus, and Mikel Merino would all see the 9 before Martinelli, which is unfortunate because I feel like that's his best position. But this is going to cause a divide, because obviously you're going to have a section of Arsenal fans that are like me, that have like, they understand like the potential and the talent that he had and he's shown in previous seasons, but it's just not consistent enough, and he's not someone that Arsenal should have as their starting left winger if they want to go and win the league, unfortunately. Do you know what I mean? And they're going to understand the point of having to generate funds, because, okay, cool, maybe it would be good to keep him as a rotation option, but we have to generate money. Even though I feel like we can spend, he is on 180k a week. So I don't think we can have him and Trossard on the bench. It just wouldn't make sense financially. And then you've got the fact that maybe at Trossard's age, it makes more sense for him to be, a rotational piece, and you can get rid of Martinelli, and then you can maybe give Trossard a tiny bit higher wages, which would probably still be less than what Martinelli's on, and then it allows you to, I guess, maneuver a bit better with wages for whoever you bring in next. And there's also going to be those like me that see Martinelli being sold as like a nigh-on guarantee that we will sign Rodrigo. Do you know what I mean? So obviously we can still not sign him, but I think the intent of selling Martinelli probably means that we are going to go super, super serious for Rodrigo. But then you're going to have the other side that are like, oh, they still think Martinelli is the player that he was, and they'll say stuff like, for example, Erdegaard helps out Saka a lot on the right, but who does Martinelli have to help him on the left? There'll be people that say he's left out on an island on the left. He's always out super high, super wide, isolated. Instructionally, he's held back. The system may not suit him. Maybe if there was changes, you would see a better Martinelli. There's going to be people that say and I agree, he's a big game player. He scores in big games, so it's good to have those kind of players. And they'll just keep on believing that he will get better, he will get better, he will get better, and we'll go back to seeing the Martinelli of old. But I don't think that we will see that at Arsenal. Whereas I think if he goes to Bayern, we'll see that. And that's just my opinion. So look, people, let me know your opinions on Martinelli going to Bayern. Do you want to sell him? Do you want to keep him? Where do you see his place in our squad? All of that jazz. And yeah, catch you next time.